week. So kasama po natin si Mr. Rodney Galicia, ang Executive Director ng Living Laudato Si Philippines. Ayan. So no, marami siyang na-share sa atin, no. At isa na nga dito ay yung saan nga ba talaga nagmula yung COVID-19, no? Kasi madami talaga tayong tinuturong dahilan kung saan ito nagmula. Mula daw ito sa paniki, no? Mula sa kung ano-ano pa, no, sa ating wildlife. Pero no, wag nating kalimutan na meron din tayo, no. Meron isa din ang mga tao sa may ambag, no. Kung bakit nararanasan natin itong pandemyang ito. Ayan, so si Sir Roddy, no, binigyan niya tayo ng mga tips at actually checklist kung paano natin mapapangalagaan ang ating sarili at ang ating environment, no. Okay, so ayan, na again, ito nga po na we have to stay physically and mentally healthy. We have to clean our surroundings. We have to educate ourselves, learn new skills, connect with loved ones, and of course, pray. So ito pa, meron pa siyang share sa atin, no, na based from from the Laudato Si, number 211 or 211, we have to practice managing waste and water and cook what can be reasonably consumed, and we have to care for other beings. Kasi po, ano, ito pa ang lagi kong inaalala pag tungkol talaga sa environment yung pinag-uusapan. Yung kanta ni Joey Ayala na tayo yung magkaugnay kasi no lahat ng bagay sa mundo ay magkakaugnay, kaya we really have to do our part in taking care of God's creation kasi lagi nating iisipin na yung mundong kinalalagyan natin ngayon ay hindi lang ito para sa atin, para sa kasalukuyan, ito din ay para sa ating mga descendants, para sa ating future at sa hinaharap. Kasi no, lagi nating iisipin na darating ang panahon na kung hindi natin naalagaan ang ating kapaligiran ngayon, ang ating kalikasan, darating ang panahon na yung mga magiging mga anak ng mga anak natin, no, hindi na nila mararanasan yung nararanasan natin sa ngayon. Kaya nga, di ba, no, meron ding campaign ngayon tungkol sa climate change, no, yung pagpapababa ng 1 to 1.5 degrees na lang yung ating temperatura. And of course, no, yung pagpapababa din nga ng ating carbon emission. So yan. Okay, so ayan mga moms and sirs, no? Nagpapasalamat po tayo sa may gawa ng ating recap material si Miss Alec Del Rosario. Maraming salamat din kay Sir Rodney, no, na talagang nagbigay sa ating time despite sa kanyang napaka-busy schedule para samahan tayo sa ating episode last week. Okay? So ayan po, before tayo magsimula sa ating wellness check ngayong umaga, no, mga moms and sirs, ayan, reminders lamang po, ano, kung meron po kayong mga katanungan or mayroon kayong gustong iparating sa amin, no, wag po kayong mahihiyang i-share ito sa ating comment section. Please, comment it, no? But follow this format po. Please type in your name, the name of your region, your division, and your school, and then your question or your feedback para po ma-acknowledge namin kayo. And of course, let us know po on how we can improve this wellness check, no, by answering the evaluation po after this episode, okay? And of course, we encourage everyone po, ano, to share this with your colleagues and DepEd. Hindi lamang po ito, kundi pati na po din yung ating mga previous episodes, no, sa Wellness Check Series Season 1 and Stronger from Home episodes din. Kasi yung mga pinag-uusapan po natin ngayon ay galing sa mga past episodes from Wellness Check and Stronger from Home. Okay? So ayan, kung gusto niyo pong makita ang schedule ng ating topic sa mga susunod na episodes natin, kung meron po kayong hawak na cellphone, no, pwede niyo pong scan yung QR code na nakikita niyo sa inyong screen or pumunta po kayo sa deped.in/wellness check. Okay? So, check na check pa rin po ba tayo? Ayan. Kung check na check pa rin po kayo, please hit that like button. Okay? So, ayan. To provide us with the rationale and opening message for our Wellness Check episode for today, let us call in Mr. Orlando Barachina, Project Development Officer 4 of DRRMS. Good morning, Sir Orly.
Hello, good morning everyone. Good morning to our participants po sa ating maghapon na sa araw na ito na gagawin nating session. Personnel who
Hello,
are
Sir
also
Orly. Sir Orly, nakamute po kayo?
yes, okay na ako.
Yes po, we can hear you
Ayan.
now, Sir Orly.
So once again, good morning to everyone, to our participants today, to our beloved teachers and our non-teaching personnel na lagi nating kasama-sama sa ating kada session ng ating wellness check series. Mamaya po ng ating host. And then today is our season 2, episode 7 of our wellness check series, and we are glad that we are discussing, continuously discussing the topics related to mental health because we want to give valuable information and of course assist our teachers really, because the critical role po in terms of learning continuity ay nasa mga guro po at ng ating mga magulang sa panahon na ngayon. Kaya nare-recognize po namin yung role ng ating mga learners and parents and of course our teachers. That's why the department is providing a number of MHPSS interventions, including this, to assist our teachers po. And alam niyo po, one of the negative impacts brought by this pandemic actually is the recognition of the various mental health issues po faced by our learners and personnel. Kaya po talaga simula't simula pa pinopromote talaga ng department po yung programang ito para makatulong po sa ating mga guro, no? And naniniwala po tayo na dahil sa critical role po ng ating mga guro sa panahong ito ay dapat talaga that they are provided with necessary psychosocial support intended po and needed, no, in terms of learning continuity. At dahil po dito ang departamento o kagawaran ay tumutulong po talaga, no, para maibigay yung mga pangangailangan na ito sa ating mga guro. Sa ngalan po ng ating Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Service ng ating director po ng opisina, si Director Ronil Daco, kami po ay lubos na nagpapasalamat. Pinapahati po namin yung pasasalamat sa ating mga participants na linggo-linggo po ay kasama po natin. Sana po ay hindi po dito magtigil yung inyong pag-intindi ng programa ng mental health because our main goal is not just to really you as teachers po to cope in the pandemic but as well as to be more proactive, no, in addressing the mental health issues kasi tayo rin po yung gagabay sa ating mga mag-aaral sa darating na pasukan at naniniwala po kami na ang mga guro natin kung if our teachers are mentally health, no, in terms of mental health ay busog din yung kanilang mga puso, no, at yung kanilang perspective sa buhay, at makakatulong din sila at may babahagi din nila na maayos yung kanilang sarili sa kanilang mga mag-aaral. So dahil dito, muli, maraming salamat sa inyong suporta. We can only achieve our goal, no, in providing mental health to all our stakeholders if we will support one another. So yun po yung malinaw dito. That's why we welcome you all to this online psychosocial support interventions and let's have a new let's learn, relearn, and unlearn today with our session with our speakers po. Maraming salamat.
Maraming salamat po, Sir Orly, sa inyong mensahe. No? Ayan po, mga ma'ams and sirs. No? Ayan, kung ready na po kayo, ready na din kami na simulan ang ating pag-uusap tungkol sa episode natin ngayong umaga. Okay, kasi ayan po, kung last week, no, ang pinag-usapan natin ito po sa pangangalaga sa ating kapatiran. Ngayon naman po, ang pag-uusapan natin ay tungkol naman sa, of course, sa kapaligiran pa rin dahil ang title ng ating episode ay Echoing Nature's Voice, a discussion on eco-friendly living. So, ano nga ba ito at ano ba ang ating mga pagchichikahan ngayong umaga? Siyempre, may kasama tayong resource speaker na si Mr. Francis Sollano. So, si Sir Francis po ay internationally acclaimed multidisciplinary creative focused on social practice art. He pioneered contemporary trash and art in the Philippines and is known for his takes on upcycling garbage into wearable art. Very interesting po, no? Ayan po. Co-founder din po siya ng Youth for Livable Communities or YLC na nagpo-promote ng sustainable advocacies at nation building. Siya din po na-recognize, only Filipino recognized by the World Economic Forum as a cultural leader. And noong 2015, he received the Elevate Award from the British Council for using his creativity on the protection of children through play and safe spaces. He is also the recipient of the United Nations Environmental Program Fellowship Award as one of Asia Pacific's leaders on sustainable urban design. And last November 2018, he received the Arts for Good Award by the Singapore International Foundation for his dedication on empowering the youth through arts. Ayan. Good morning, Sir Francis. Maayong buntag.
Good morning, Jo, and thank you for that kind introduction. And magandang umaga, good morning, mayong buntag to everyone who is tuned in to our teachers and non-teaching personnel, and to our kids and youth who are watching right now. Magandang umaga, good morning.
Kasama rin po natin ngayon ang ating friend psychologist mula sa Psychological Association of the Philippines, ang advisor po ng PAP Mimaropa and Calabarzon Chapter, Professor Yang Gatchalian. Good morning, Ma'am Yang.
Hello, good morning. Magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. Nako, na-miss ko ang wellness.
Of course, first na-miss din namin kayo, Ma'am Yang, no?
Siyempre.
Last week. Okay, so ayan, natutuwa po ako na pagchichikahan po tayong muli, pero iba naman ngayon ang ating topic tungkol naman sa ating kapaligiran tungkol sa kalikasan. Okay, so ayan.
Yes, sobrang timely.
Yes, of course, Ma'am Yang, no? Kasi madami ngayong talaga, no, na nagbago yung parang nag-shift, no, naging mga plantitos at plantitas na daw sila.
Correct.
Okay, so ayan. Okay, so ayan, no, ayan, Sir Francis, can you share with us, no, yung advocacy niyo po? Muna.
Yes, we do a lot of things naman, from youth engagement to my personal work sa arts, and as well as to community development. So it basically marami siyang interventions, pero it all intersects to about how will our communities become livable? Kung gaano ba siya, how will it be conducive para sa atin na mamuhay ng mapayapa, and as well as to sustain our living. So we work with communities, with the youth. Gumagawa tayo ng different activities, arts related, na meron din siyang intersection to upcycling, recycling, and also to making livelihood out of upcycling and recycling. And then we also do a lot of policy making trusts, ganun. So nagchichika-chikahan tayo to our city government, to our Congress, ganun. So, yun, I hope it makes sense.
It does.
Kasi, it is. It makes sense for us, Sir Francis. Oo, kasi parang napaka talaga kasi ngayon yung usapin tungkol sa kalikasan, kasi nga meron na naman tayong isang kinakaharap na krisis, sinasabi nila, yung sa climate change. And isa nga sa sinasabing paraan, no, para malabanan or malesen yung impact nito sa atin is yung sustainable living. So ayan, so can you share with us po kung ano ba talaga itong sustainable living na ito para po sa ating mga teachers na nanonood ngayon?
Okay, so sustainable living, I'll just explain it na in the most simplified way, no? Yes. If I could. So, help me lang, Miss Yang, if ever. So, sustainable living is, ito yung process ng, living a process where mindful tayo of what we consume, responsible consumption, making sure na it is enough for us as well as for the next generations to come. So it is the antithesis of greed, kumbaga, kasi pag gahaman tayo, we just get for our own sake, and that is a mental health issue, Miss Yang, di ba? It's like I mean, being greedy is something, I don't know, probably it's a disorder. But then that is the opposite of it. Sustainable living is making sure na we are able to live, nakakain tayo, we are financially stable, and making sure na our actions also benefit the next generation. So it's a complicated mix, ganon. So it's also very related to economics kasi. So because in economics we are consuming what we could on the available resources that we have, ganon. So yun. I hope it was simple. Simple naman, no? I guess.
Yeah, it's simple. Okay, so it's like parang just consuming or getting what is enough for you, no? And
Kung
thinking
ano
of
yung
other
enough,
people as well.
yes, so kung yung enough para sa atin, tapos meron pa ring matitira for the next generation. So yun.
Yeah.
Simplified siya na explanation. Simplified, yes.
Oh, actually, ano siya, pasok na
Yes,
pasok
ma'am,
siya sa MHPSS. You remember, Jo? Kasi di ba yung MHPSS, Mental Health, Psychosocial Support, ang sinasabi kasi nito, again, it's not an intervention, but it's our guideline on how we can do programs and projects, no, actions, planning, that will secure mental health of everyone. So dun sa mental health kasi, one of the principles is yung tinatawag na human rights and, take note, equity. Di ba? Nandun siya, may karapatan akong kumain. Pero meron din karapatan yung ibang kumain. May karapatan akong bumili ng alcohol. Pero may karapatan din yung ibang bumili ng alcohol. So huwag mo ubusin, di ba? Parang ganon. So kumbaga parang in everything that we do, yes, you need to assure and ensure your safety. But at the same time, you have to take note na meron ding ibang mangangailangan at nangangailangan yan. Kaya ang ganda nung pagkakapaliwanag yun, sir. Kasi yung pasok na pasok siya dun sa sinasabing we have to ensure everyone's mental health is safe, guarded, no, and guided. We are guarded and guided at the same time. Tapos nandun pumapasok yung sinasabi na involvement ng bawat isa, di ba? Pasok din yan sa MHPSS na we are all involved in this, no? Kaya nga sabi nila, kung hindi ka makapaglinis, huwag kang magdumi, di ba? Kung di mo kayang linisin yun, huwag mo nang dudumihan, no? Don't be part of yung pagkalat ng dumi. And I'm really very interested with the term upcycling. Kanina narinig ko siya parang, wow, oo nga. Kasi parang we're always in the recycling di ba? Parang yun ang na kasanayan natin. Yun. So I'm
Actually,
so
Ma'am
interested
Yang,
with
no,
that.
when you said MHPSS, na picture ko yung pyramid natin, no, yung level of interventions. Kasi parang
yes.
Napaka-basic sa yung sa lowest level, yung yung safety and security, and of course yung equity no, sa mga resources. Of course, having enough resources is good for our mental health. And of course, gusto ko yung being mindful, kasi yun lagi yung pinag-uusapan natin for the past episode. So being mindful of what is happening inside you. And so ngayon naman, being mindful in what you are consuming and being mindful then with other people. This is very interesting. Okay, so ayan. Dahil na-mention na ni Ma'am Yeng, gusto ko na itong itanong. Kasi nga, ako dito, gusto kong malaman kung ano ba yung ibang mga cycling. Recycling, upcycling, ano po ba ito, Sir
Cycling
Francis?
shorts.
Hindi naman po yun, Ma'am Yeng.
Ay, hindi na ba yan?
Gamit yan sa exercise, cycling shorts. So that's good. So yung basic difference ng recycling at saka upcycling is kung yung end product. So for yung recycling, basically repurposing the same material sa same na purpose. So yung plastic bottle, ginagawa siyang yung ginaground maging pellets para maging another plastic bottle. So that is recycling. Yung purpose niya is to create the same product out of the same material. Yung upcycling is creating another product with higher value than the previous na product niya. For example, yung plastic bottle, ginawang pellet, pero ginawa siyang jewelry afterwards. So yung price ng jewelry is higher than the plastic bottle pero same yung material. So yun yung goal natin always is to, well, marami tayong goals. Pero one of the things na ginagawa namin is to do upcycling para sa mga livelihood programs ng communities natin. So yung basura, ginagawa siyang fashion accessories or ginagawa siyang home accessory para mag-increase yung value. Tapos, meron ding additional profit for yung mga nanay natin. Because we also help mga nanays with students in product design and fine arts. They design products out of garbage. And then, meron products na ginagawa yung mga nanay natin. Another thing na we do in our campaign. So yun. So recycling, difference ng recycling, tas upcycling. Yung end value. Yes. So yun.
Thank you, Sir Francis. No? Kasi ngayon ko lang nalaman na ganun pala yung recycling. Na dapat same pa din. And upcycling is you higher the value. Kasi akala ko yung recycling is you made another product out of that product. For example, a plastic bottle, yung soft drinks bottle, you make it as plant holder. Akala ko yun ay recycling. So, mali po pala ako.
Well, marami kasi yung ay, sorry po, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ay, kasi maraming intersections kasi. Pero the purpose of recycling is talagang to repurpose the same material. Yun talaga. Well, basically, upcycling is another form of recycling. Pero iba lang yung value niya. So, upcycling is recycling, pero added value siya, kumbaga. O, ganun. So, yun.
I see. That's really very interesting, no?
Yes.
Oo, kasi makikita mo ngayon yung mga upcycling ba yung ginagawa nila. Like, you mentioned earlier, plantitos and plantisas. Natuwa ako kanina when you mentioned it. Kasi nakikita na ako sa term, plantito, plantita, ganyan. Pero dream ko kaya yun, kasi mabigat ang kamay ko. Hindi talaga ako
wala po kayong dream, Tom.
Wala.
Oo, very interesting po ngayon kasi yung recycling and upcycling kasi parang 'di ba dahil meron tayong pandemic, maraming nawala ng kabuhayan. And it's good no na talagang nakakatulong ito for other people na nawala ng kabuhayan to have another source of income.
Yes. Oo.
Kaya yung mga pots ngayon mabenta, 'di ba?
Yes.
Kasi yun yung in-upcycle, tama ba ako?
Yes. O yung mga plastic bottles na ginawang cute na mga pots, yung mga nagpipaint sila, so arts and crafts. Tapos meron din tayong ngayon, yung mga yung bagong trend kung saan they use yung mga old towels saka old clothes ginagawang with cement para gawing planters din. Gawang ano nga yung Tagalog ng Filipino ng
paso?
Paso. Oo, ginagawang paso.
Oo, yun yung bagong trend naman ngayon.
Marami ako nakikitang ganun ngayon. Very interesting, no? Lumalabas yung creativity talaga ngayon ng mga tao.
Cute talaga sila.
Yes.
Colorful, plus cute. Yes. Anyway, it helps our mental state to release anxiety with those activities, di ba, Miss Yeng?
Yes, true. Especially so na yung mga plants kasi, they have this certain energy. When they emit this energy and then you work with plants, nakakatulong siya for positivity. Yes. Kaya pag ang paligid mo ay mapuno, no? Yung energy, yung natural energy that comes out of them actually help also. Kasi it's the interaction between your physical body and the physicality of the environment. Yes. Kaya sinasabi nila na yung tumitira daw sa mga lugar na greens at maraming mga halaman ay mas positive yung views nila. No? Kasi di ba? Kasi it's not just what you see, it's also what you emit, what you also breathe, no? Na nakakatulong siya sa loob ng katawan mo. Kaya nagiging mas positive sila. And then di ba ang isa sa mga suggestions is that if you work so much indoor, try to put mga plants no, sa loob ng bahay mo. Di ba?
Yes.
Kung if there really is no way out for you, no, hindi ka makatrabaho sa labas, wala kang lantai, wala kang terrace man lang. Tapos nakita din kasi yung upsurge ng domestic violence, ng child abuse sa mga masyadong enclosed spaces. Yung mga
True.
medyo magulo, madumi. Bakit? Kasi nga, nagkakaroon ng irritability, nagkukause siya ng aggression. Kasi wala kang area to release. So
Yeah.
nakita rin yung connection nilang dalawa. Actually, there's a
Nice.
field in psychology called environmental psychology that
Oh.
focuses on the connection between body, mind, and the physical science.
Okay, that's
Kaya
interesting,
very
Mami.
interesting. Yes, it is.
Ayan. So ayan mga kasama natin ngayon na mga teachers, mga mula sa iba't ibang schools no na nanonood ngayon. If you have questions or if you want to join in our discussion, please feel free to do so. Okay? So ayan, napaka-interesting nito ngayon. Okay, so ayan, Sir Francis, eto. Paano nga ba tayo or paano nga ba natin magagawa yung sustainable living ngayon?
Hmm.
Ano ba yung mga
Ah,
dapat natin gawin? Kasi di ba pag sinabing sustainable living, paano kaya yun? I mean, how are we going to start living sustainably?
That's very tricky yan na question actually. Jo, very tricky siya na question kasi when it comes to sustainability, marami tayong factors eh. In terms of the environment, wellness, and then our transportation, livability, our work. So a lot of components. Pero I'll just say it in a simplified response. Number one is we have to, in the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, we have to take lang muna what is the most basic, which is so how do we feed ourselves? How do we put food into our tables? And number one, I would say, is to make sure na meron tayong at least greens in our homes, food, vegetables in our homes. So we've been promoting urban gardening. So at least to be on that part lang of food security. Kasi to be sustainable at home, one of which is maging to have food security. And kaya we've been promoting hindi lang snake plants or monstera
Photos.
or pothos, golden pothos. But we're also strongly promoting people to have edible gardens, or if yung mga walang huge spaces sa bahay nila, maghanap kayo ng plastic bottles, doon kayo magplant ng kahit meron akong kamote sa bahay dito. So nasa gilid lang, very small piece of paso. Then may mga kamote leaves ako, kamote tops growing. And then I use the leaves to every morning ginagawa ko siyang vegetable soup. So yun, one way for sustainable living is really to secure your own food first. Ngayon, because kahit we have strong internet pero wala tayong makain, patay. So that's first thing. If in terms of work, I mean, again, sustainable living, maraming components, but then my first response will always be food security muna. So put food on your table first, and then everything else will follow. We cannot think properly pag wala tayong kinakain. So as much as you could, magtanim ng munggo or kamote or go back to basics talaga. Go back to basics. Yes. So yun.
Yes, thank you. Ayan, no, talagang I mean, this pandemic, no, ako, napansin ko talaga to ngayon na marami talaga yung nag-resort into urban gardening or yung pagtatanim sa bakuran,
Yes.
no? Kahit mga pechay talong, kamatis, kangkong, no, na kasi parang ngayong pandemic, nagkaroon talaga ng time ang mga tao to observe the environment and parang nagkaroon sila ng time to do the things that hindi nila nagagawa nung pre-COVID, no?
Yes.
Yes,
So, yeah.
and talagang yes, sir.
Yeah, sorry. I was just about to say na this is now, we now see the importance of the programs ng DepEd before and still at the moment. Kung saan we were, because I grew up in our school, meron kaming gardening sessions talaga in
Ako
school.
din.
So, di ba? So, it's very, and unfortunately ngayon, I think some of the schools do not implement this any longer. But then now we see the importance of gardening. Uh, so we see here, we go back to our basics of food security, transportation. These are components in livability and sustainability na now we tend to have forgotten. Pero because of the pandemic, parang with just a snap, people realize na, oh, important pala magtanim ng pagkain. So the farmers are actually important. So parang ganun.
Yes, true. And sa totoo lang
Yes.
din kasi 'di ba, we've been talking about vaccine. But we should also, while waiting for it, we should already strengthen ourselves. Kasi ang kailangan talaga natin ngayon, resistensya. Di ba?
True.
It's yung resistensya yun, maririnig natin ngayon, yung importance of putting food on your table, and this food should be quality food. No, yung
Yes,
kailangan meron ka talagang,
food.
oo, kasi ang tendency, this is one sad thing. Ang isa sa mga coping mechanism na ginagamit ngayon ng nakararami, no, na hindi naman tayo ganun ka-conscious, you'll notice, mas kumakain tayong chichirya. Bakit? Sinasabi nila, like for example, may kausap ako, tapos sasabihin ko, kumusta yung kain mo? Sasabihin niya sa akin, okay naman, ganun pa rin naman yung dami ng kain ko, kaya lang mas madalas akong kumain ng chichirya. So yung mga ganon, ano? Bakit? Kasi parang naghahanap tayo ng ibang paraan para maka-cope sa pinagdadaanan natin. So yung pagkain ng chichirya is something that's enjoyable and fun while you watch Netflix. Di ba? Parang ganyan. Well, I'm sometimes guilty of that. Pero kailangan siguro maging mindful nga tayo, yung salitang mindful of like, okay, what am I eating? Kasi ang kalaban ko COVID. Diba?
Yes.
True.
So kung natatakot ka kay COVID, mas kumain ka ng maayos, mas gumamit ka ng mga bagay na makakapagpatibay ng katawan mo. Kaya yung mga nagtatanim, hindi lang siya hobby na nakakatuwa. It's actually a hobby that's helpful for them. No? Kasi nagiging mas malakas yung katawan nila. We also have to remember that COVID dies. No? Namamatayan siya. Ang tanong lang, sinong mauuna sa inyong dalawa? So kung mas malakas ang katawan mo, mauuna siyang mawala, kaya mong malagpasan. Pero kung mahina ang katawan mo, mauuna ka kay COVID na nasa katawan mo, di ba? Kaya very timely yung kinikwento ni Francis na kailangan yung kinakain mo, you have to ensure that. You have to ensure your food first. Kasi you're waiting for vaccine but you need to strengthen yourself. Na otherwise, kahit pag-vaccine ka, kung mahina yung katawan mo, tapos kasama dyan yung mindfulness, yung isip mo.
Yes.
Kasi if you talk of mental health and health as a whole, the model of biopsychosocial, your body, di ba? What comes in, goes in and out of your body. Psycho, the way you think about the situation around you, the connection between the two. And social, and part of that is the environment. No? So yung social na yan, kasama si environment siya, napakalaking bagay niyan. Kaya yung interplay ng tatlo, napaka-importante nila. Diba?
Yes, Ma'am Yang, I agree on that, no. Kasi right now we really have to be mindful on what we eat kasi nga sinasabi 'di ba na kung ano yung kinakain mo, sumasalamin din yun sa kung ano ka. Yeah, so actually ako personal experience ko to. When I had dengue last year, doon ko talaga naisip na kung ano yung kinakain ko. Parang gaano sa katawan ko. So when I had dengue, talaga kumain ako ng fruits, kumain ako ng gulay, talagang amino ko yung sarili ko. And then lumabas yung result. Oh, amazing. So kung ano talaga yung nilalagay mo, pinapasok sa katawan mo, yun din yung parang mag-manifest sa'yo. So we really have to be mindful. No? Kasi if we really want to fight COVID, we have to start with ourselves.
Yes.
We have to eat healthy. We need to eat right.
Yes. Yeah. Just to add, Jo, rule ko sa bahay is my breakfast definitely must be green leafy vegetables. Rule ko yan. No oil as much as I could lang as much as I could. Pero rule ko talaga, uh, green leafy vegetables na kinukuha ko lang sa dito lang sa bahay namin. We grow our own vegetables kasi. So pwede din okra, ganon. First thing in the morning, talagang green leafy vegetables. And then sometimes noontime to dinner, pariwara na ako sometimes.
Alam mo, nakita mo yung reaction namin, Francis. Nung sinabi mo yung walang mantika, sabi ni Joanne ganon. Sabi ko ganon. Kasi parang sobrang guilt. Naku, alam niya kung ano ang mga breakfast na gustong-gusto ko. Diba? Sa dami ng pinagsamahan namin.
I mean,
Guilty.
yes, Ma'am Yengo. I mean, we have to eat healthy and eat right. Tapos, naalala ko yung discussion with Rian before. Sabi niya, pwede namang magkaroon ng cheat day.
Yeah, cheat day. Definitely.
Oo. Kasi syempre, binibiro nila ako lagi na parang, yung kinakain mo, ang sasabihin ko, ay bakit? Kailangan kong kainin yung gusto kong kainin, otherwise hindi ako magiging psychologically healthy. Di ba lagi ko excuse yan? I value my psychological well-being. Pag hindi ko to nakain, mababaliw ako. So parang ganyan, no? Pero yung totoo kasi talaga, kailangan nating i-watch. Kasi, even ito, biglang pumasok sa isip ko, siguro in connection with what I love, coffee. Ayan, eksakto, umiinom si John ng coffee. No? Sakto. Napansin ko, may kape ka sa tabi mo. Okay. Yung kape, di ba, sinasabi nila, it's environment. Hindi daw magandang uminom ng kape. Pero kasi ganito siya. Yung kape, maganda siya sa katawan, basta totoong kape siya. Yung instant ang killer, di ba?
Yes,
but
correct. I have to agree.
Organic coffee is actually good.
So yes.
Oo, kaya parang, di ba totoo naman siya na when you drink coffee, it actually emits toxins from your body. Yan. Tapos nakakatulong siya sa heart, sa hypertension. And coffee again it's a plant, di ba? So the natural one, you take that one para mas maging yung psycho effect niya, kasi it's a psychoactive drugs. It's a stimulant, no? But yung stimulation kasi nanggagaling sa totoong pinagmumulan niya. So anything organic actually is very beautiful. Alam mo, this is so close to me, though I'm not really a plant type of person like I said earlier, but I love looking at them. My husband's family is from Palawan. Kaya nung time na convention ng mga psychologists sa Palawan in 2010, one of my colleagues, sabi niya sa akin, ang ganda ng mga halaman dito, nakangiti yung mga puno. Na hindi ko na-realize. Ako naman, tinignan ko yung mga puno, Parang hindi ko naman nakikita nakangiti ito. Pero, di ba yung sobrang appreciation, kasi that's something that they don't see in Manila.
Yes.
So parang doon ko na-realize, oo nga, no? Kasi parang iba yung yabong ng puno sa lugar na ito. Kasi inaalagaan talaga namin yung kapaligiran. Maraming bawal ipasok sa loob ng Puerto Princesa City. Kaya saludo talaga ako sa pamahalaan, no? Lalo na noon na talagang pinangalagaan yung environment ng Palawan, no? Puerto Princesa City. And you will see how well you live kapag pagising mo sa umaga, nakita mo yung magandang halaman, no? Tapos naririnig mo yung mga ibon, yung mga ganyan, no? Kaya natutuwa ako kay Francis kasi pag sinishare niya yung mga kamote, parang iniisip ko tuloy, teka muna, asa na ba yung mga plastic namin dito? Taniman na nga natin to. Di ba? Ayun.
Maganda talaga yung from your garden to table.
Yes.
Ayan, may mga comments tayo dito mula sa ating mga viewers. Malabo kay Miles Pamplona. Good morning, Prof. Yem. Sa inyo lang na good morning, Ma'am Yem.
Hi! Tangdin ng Perpetual Health Molino.
Their discussion is
Dr.
really
Miles.
very realistic and interesting, of course. And yan, ito pala kay Terlin for Lucas Urbina. Good morning po. Very interesting topic po. I agree with you, mga ma'am and sir. Napapangiti po ako sa insights nyo po this morning. Very true. Ayan, check ko yung ma'am. Ayan, and mula po kay Miss Marian Concepcion Manuel. Good morning po. Ako po kinakain ko every morning fruits para po ma-distribute yung proper nutrients ng fruits, hindi po after meal. Share ko lang po. Thanks. Thanks po. Okay. Ayan, maganda po practice yun, ma'am. No? Ayan, kasi meron ding pinggang Pinoy na parang pinopromote ang UH, no, and how we should eat yung go, grow, glow food. So ayan, magandang balikan yan. Shinare po namin yan sa isa sa mga post natin sa fostering wellness, solidarity, and service.
Yes.
Okay. Sige po, may gusto po ba kayong i-share, Sir Francis?
I was just going to add kay Ma'am Yang regarding the coffee. Again, I'll go back to yung what we've mentioned kanina na sustainability really is complex siya na topic because it involves din economics and financial status or livelihood. Now, I'll go serious dito kasi unfortunately lang, we belong to the sachet economy where what is readily available is the 3-in-1 coffee, ganon. And it's so unfortunate na majority ng ating population, ito yung what is available. So we strongly, well, at least I strongly recommend sa ating greater population na if hindi makaya you need something in the morning, yung suggestion kanina na to eat fruits first thing in the morning, do it. Especially high sugar fruits. Yun yung first thing in the morning you take in instead of the sachet 3-in-1 high sugar coffee. Kasi when you look at the content of that coffee, I mean of that sachet coffee, it's all sugar. It's all sugar. What Ma'am Yang mentioned na if you have the organic, the real coffee, perfect, very good, great talaga. But then if you cannot access because of financial constraints, kuha na lang tayo ng fresh fruits na high sugar. Organic pa yung sugar, natural pa yung sugar niya instead of having that coffee. But again, it's very complex siya na issue. We go back to poverty, to economic status. So ako, I love yung smell ng pure brewed coffee. Heaven. Heaven. Pero unfortunately, not everyone sa atin have the access to it. So if possible lang, if you need talaga coffee or something or a stimulant early in the morning, go fresh high sugar fruits. Of course, merong issue ang diabetic, but then as much as you could, just refrain from high sugar food products na hindi organic. If we notice the pre-existing conditions na COVID immediately target.
Pag nagbabakasyon kami, namimitas kami ng coffee or pinupulot namin yung mga nalalaglag na coffee beans. And niro-roast yun, binabalatan. And pag kaumaga, gumagamit ng yung malaking parang mortar and pestle. As in, kami yung nagdidikdik nun and nilalagay sa kaldero. At yun na yung iniinom na kape. So, I remember ko, yes po, kasi parang ano ko lang ngayon, no, na if hindi tayo makabili sa mga stores, no, nung mga kapeng Barako, kape from Cordillera, or kape from Mount Apo, from Bukidnon. Bukidnon coffee is very good.
Cavite.
We can do it naman sa bahay. I think kung meron kayong makakahanap po kayo ng source, no, ng coffee plant, tama, coffee plant ba? Pwede po magtanim kayo sa bahay and start from there. Kasi I remember my grandparents, no? Kasi isa po 'yun sa mga pinag-uusapan namin ng mga pinsan ko sa bahay na nung buhay pa yung grandparents ko. Ganun lagi na pag bumibili sa tindahan, laging may dalang bote. Kahit pa to cooking oil, may dala-dalang bote ng gin. So yun, kasi isang medya, ganon. Or kung magpupunta sa palengke, may dalang bayong, may dalang lalagyanan ng kung ano-ano. And na-appreciate ko yun ngayon. No,
Yes.
na panahon ngayon. Kasi na-lesson talaga yung basura na parang nakaka-amaze siya ngayon pag pumupunta sa palengke. Kasi pre-COVID, nagpupunta ako sa palengke. And may dala akong mga container na pinaglalagyan ng fish and other seafood and meat. Na-amaze yung mga tendera kasi may lalagyan ka. Sana yung iba din. Or yung mga parang knitted na lalagyan.
Yes, yes.
Para
Yung mga
lagyan ng mga net. Para lagyan ng mga sibuyas, bawang, mga ganon.
Yes.
Parang magandang bumalik nga sa ganon. Sustainable living po ba yun, Sir Francis?
Yes, definitely, definitely. Ako nga nagdadala din ako ng sarili ko mga bag, sarili ko mga containers, yung mga plastic box containers, ganon. Tapos yung funny thing is, pag ikaw yung bumibiling nagdadala ng ganon, parang ikaw yung weird. Nawiwirduhan yung mga di ba?
Yung mga nakakita sa'yo.
O nakakikita sa akin, sa atin, or yung mga tindera, nawiwirduhan sila, bakit may lalagyan. So, that's one comment na experience ko. Kasi yung mga sibuyas, bawang, lahat-lahat nun, minimix ko lang siya sa isang malaking bag. Tas yung ang luya, ganun, all in one bag. Tapos nag-comment yung isang tindera, "Sir, baka mahahalo yan dyan sa bag." Yung sabi ko, okay lang kasi sa tiyan ko mahahalo din sila. So okay lang. Advance lang ako mag-isip.
Naluto na agad. Yeah. Okay. So ayan, no, talagang malilesen yung basura. Kasi parang sa ngayon po, trinade yung pagdadala ng mga sariling lalagyan sa convenience. Kasi yung mga parang ang ano talaga natin ngayon maging convenient na hindi na magdadala ng napakalaking bayong na may laman na mga galon at mga jars. Okay. So ayan, ito naman po kasi ngayon, no, ang dami-dami talagang basura. Pag, di ba, parang sa Manila Bay, may area. Mamayang taga Cavite po ba kayo, no? So nakikita niyo po yung mga basura, no, sa Manila Bay.
Yes.
And kahit sa mga spero, sa dito sa Metro Manila, no, madami talagang basura nagkalat. So, parang marami ako mga organizations, nakikita sa mga post nila na pag umulit sila ng basura kahit sa Epipechea, no, nandoon yung mga bote ng soft drinks, mga juice, mga sachet ng chichirya at ng kung ano-ano pa. Kaya tama nga Sir Francis, no, na sachet economy talaga tayo dito sa Pilipinas.
Totoo.
Yeah. So ayan Sir Francis, paano ba natin ma-lesen yung pagkakaroon ng mga basura?
Difficult question yan. How to lessen. Kasi, again, we go back kasi to our spending capacity. The more sachets, the more basura, then ganun. So, pero if we buy in bulk, then less basura, then, so, ayun. So, yung one way is magdala ng sariling containers. Ganun. Or, second is, if possible, which is quite difficult, is bumili ng in bulk. Pero hindi naman not everyone can buy in bulk, di ba? So it's really that's a very trivial question. Kasi it's like asking din how do we solve poverty? Ganon. Kasi at the end of the day, the root cause, we have to do systems thinking. What's the root cause of the basura in Manila Bay? Ganon. Masosolve ba siya sa white sands from Cebu?
Ayan na.
Ayoko lang mag-comment kaya nag-smile lang ako with Yang. So ayun. So kasi that's psychosocial impact. So that's mental health. However, it's really about systems thinking, and what I I strongly suggest to DepEd, now we have to strengthen our campaign on single-use plastic campaigns, ganon. And again, it's really having people become responsible kasi, and we have to look na sino ba yung nagtatapon. These are the people na ito yung mga tao, ito yung mga kababayan natin who belong to this certain income bracket. Bakit naman they belong to that income bracket? Because wala silang means to educate themselves. And because ganon, and it's very systemic kasi. So
Yeah.
it's a difficult question. It's like asking how do we solve poverty? But then my quick response would be really to educate people on buying, responsible consumption, recycling, and then so yeah, mahaba-habang answer siya actually. So Miss Yang, yeah, I give the floor to you.
Actually, if I can share something, I mentioned
Sige
we're
po,
from
ma'am.
Puerto Princesa City, di ba? And talagang napakahigpit ng basura doon sa amin. Nung panahon na doon pa kami nakatira, ang isa sa pinaka-strong city ordinance was walang magtatapon kahit palito ng posporo. When I was new in the city, bagong kasal kami, bago ako doon, syempre taga Manila ako, tapon, yan talagang kinasanayan, di ba? Nung nandun ako, sabi nung kasama ko, naglalakad kami, ate ha, kasi nagpo-prosesyon kami doon, sisindi ka ng kandila. Yung palito, ilagay mo sa bag. Sabi ko, bakit? Pwede ka naman itapon, di ba palito lang naman yan. Naku, pag may nakahuli sa'yo, magbabayad ng 200. Ganon sila kahigpit na kahit na palito ng posporo, may citizen's arrest. Pwede kang sitahin, pwede kang kumbaga pwede kang i-complain ng kapwa mo. Kaya alam nyo, bawal talaga sa amin sa Puerto Princesa magtapon sa paligid. Kasi natatakot din kami ma-penalize. Ngayon, pumapasok yung terms of punishment. Kaya lang kasi, ang naging maganda kasing part nun, was nakasanayan din talaga namin na maglagay anything in our bag. At kung meron kami mga basura like candy or whatever, nilalagay namin sa bag. So ako, na taga Manila, lumaki sa Maynila, sanay ako sa magtapon lang everywhere. No? I'm sorry, pero yan talaga, hindi kasi wala masyadong mahigpit na patakaran tungkol dyan. But when I lived in Puerto Princesa, hanggang sa dumating ako na Manila, hindi ko na siya nadadala yung pagtatapon. Talagang nasa loob ng bag ko yan. So lahat ng, halimbawa, tissue paper, nasa loob ng bag ko yan. Kaya at the end of the day, iniipon ko lahat ng nandun sa bag ko at saka ko siya itinatapon sa basurahan sa bahay namin. Nakasanayan ko yan. Tapos yung mga anak ko, ganun din sila. Nung nagbakasyon sa Manila, nagulat sila, ang daming basura. So ang ibig sabihin dito, yung attitude forming, no? Yung behavior forming.
Yes.
Nagawa namin sa Puerto Princesa ang sumunod at huwag magtapon ng basura sa kung saan-saan lang. Dito, ang isa sa masakit, nakasakay ako sa jeep, may kumakain ng fast food. Family sila. After kumain, nilagay ng tatay dun sa plastic, siya pa yung nagtapon sa highway. So parang, so parang, ako mismo parang, Diyos ko, ano ba yung ginawa mo? Diba? Again, hindi madaling gawin dito kasi napaka-cosmopolitan natin eh. Yung nasa loob ng Metro Manila, hindi lahat taga Metro Manila. Alam natin yan, that's why it's more difficult. No? So dito na naman pumapasok yung mindfulness. Kung alam mo yung ginagawa mo, yun yung sustainability eh. Kasi nasa isip mo siya, na-form mo na siya. So alam mo kung ano yung dapat kong gawin. Nagkakaroon ka ng certain feeling na parang, ay pag tinapon ko to, oops, may mali. Tapos hindi ka na comfortable doon, di ba? Kasi hindi na nakasanayan mo. Kung masasanay ka na ipasok sa bag yung basura mo, no? Huwag naman yung balat ng saging, ibalot mo rin, di ba? Huwag naman isaksak mo lang sa bag mo. Pero, di ba? So, maganda kasi dito, fino-form natin mula sa bata. Kaya ang laki ng role ng DepEd.
Yes.
Kasi, di ba? Kasi kung yung mga bata sa loob ng klase, tuturuan natin sila na, yung mga basura pulutin. Yung meron ka dapat isang lalagyan sa loob ng bag mo, na doon mo ilalagay kung ano man yung waste mo.
Yes.
Para, pagdating mo sa bahay o makakita ka ng basura sa labas, doon mo siya itapon.
Yeah.
Yun. Kasi, pag naging habit ng bata yan hanggang sa lumaki siya, magkakaskade na ngayon yan sa mga kasama niya. Imagine mo ang bata na sinisita yung magulang niya, pa, bakit mo tinapon doon? O di ngayon si tatay, oops, teka muna. Kaya ang lakas nung sinabi ni Francis na systemic. Kasi when you talk of systemic, this is the bioecological systems perspective, the effect and the influence of your system. So
Yes.
if the
Also
child is being taught in school on how to properly manage their waste, pagdating niya sa bahay, share niya, makakascade niya yung behavior na yon sa mga tao sa bahay. In the same manner na kung ugali ni tatay makikita ng bata. Kaya kailangan labanan natin ngayon to dun sa isang lugar kung saan meron siyang malakas na exposure, school.
Yes.
Kasi ang
Yeah.
lakas na exposure, ang lakas na effect ng school sa bata. 'Di ba
Yes.
yung bata nga parang it's a battle between nanay and teacher. Pag sinabi ng nanay na mag-toothbrush ka, ang sinabi ng teacher ay mag-toothbrush ka, sinong masusundin ng bata? Masusundan niya si teacher na nagsasabi mag-toothbrush ka. 'Di ba? Mas nakukuha niya 'yon kasi mas kasama niya si teacher. So napakagandang avenue ng school para ma-develop yung habit na 'yon. Kasi I myself, I witnessed dati. I lived uh, in that city. I'm so proud of it. Na kung saan tinuruan talaga kami na hindi ka pwedeng magtapon.
Yes.
Diba? Kahit sabihin mo may penalty, yung nakasanayan namin na hindi talaga kami nagtatapon. Kaya salute talaga sa mga taga Puerto Princesa. Nandyan talaga yung ugali niya. Hindi niya nagtatapon sa kalsada. Yan. Oo.
Yes.
So diba
Yes.
magandang
So, marami-
magandang gamitin natin.
Yeah. Actually, totoo naman po, na talagang systemic yung problema na natin, no, pagtungkol sa basura.
Yes.
But, ayan, isa to sa challenge sa ating mga teachers, sa mga teachers na kasama natin ngayon. How are we going to instill this values, no, sa ating mga learners? So, this is part of, sa part ng curriculum na tinuturo natin sa mga bata. Pero sana po, hindi lang ito maging parte ng leksyon na kailangan matutunan ng mga bata para tumaas yung grades nila, but for our learners, no, na madali ito sa kanilang bahay, sa kanilang community hanggang sa paglaki nila.
Yes. Di ba
Habit
we
forming.
Yes.
If I remember, climate change will become part na, di ba, of our curriculum. It is being part of our curriculum na, di ba? Climate change will become part of DepEd's fundamental di ba? If I'm not mistaken, Jo.
May batas po tayo, no, na climate change is integrated na in the curriculum, and meron po tayong mga topics na din naman on climate change na nasa atin ng curriculum.
Yes.
Actually, sa CHED, hindi ko alam kung buong CHED ha, pero sa Palawan State University, kasama sa orientation yung environment. Itinuturo rin sa tertiary level yung tungkol sa environment.
Yes.
I mean, in the part of Palawan State University.
Yeah.
Gandang integration sa school.
Yes. Speaking of school integration, I also would like to share this. One of the ways now we could reduce waste will be also to strongly work with our design industry kasi. Again, these wastes are byproducts of products that were designed by someone else, ganun. And so I strongly call on this towards our industrial design students, our design academe, our design and arts na mga institutions na, because at the end of the day, I'm not saying go against plastic. I'm saying we have to design and look for alternative sources of plastic that are organic, such as what I mentioned last time. Research, we have to have strong research on the design of tapioca plastic or the Filipino of tapioca nga,
Sago.
Sago, yes, sago plastic. And
Milk
this is
tea ba to?
parang milk tea lang yung type. So yeah, it's really working.
Hindi lang naisip ko.
Hindi naman. Yung the tapioca plastic, which was studied by research students and design students in Indonesia, and seaweed plastic, ganon. So how do we work with the academe to create all these the organic packaging, because a lot of our waste, majority of our waste is in because of the packaging. And so how do we design packaging that is organic, that works with the environment, ganon. So this is, I could remember, di ba, we used to sell putot kotsinta with banana leaf, di ba? Ganon. Pero ngayon, it's all in plastic, ganon. So again, it's all about packaging. I mean, it's one of the things is about packaging, and how can we work with the academe, the designers, the artists, the industrial researchers on doing this, and hopefully meron tayong incentives para maging baliw sa research on positive, that will be positive for our environment. Wala akong comment with Jen.
parang natatakot ako sa mga lumalabas sa bibig mo eh. Di ba? Kasi parang anyway. Francis, that reminds me, meron na kaming binili recently, banana cake. Tapos yung packaging niya was made of sugar cane.
Oh, yeah? Oh, really?
Pwede ka nang mag-bake doon, tapos siya na yung packaging mo. And then after using it, ang sabi ng anak ko, it's my child who told me about it. Yun yung parang nilalagay sa halaman.
Yes.
Parang may gagawin ka sa kanya. It's magiging fertilizer siya. Amazing nga. Sabi ko, at hindi mo siya basta itatapon lang, di ba? I think it's made of sugarcane eh. As ang ganda pa ng packaging niya, cutie-cutie siya, crafty type, no? So maganda yung sinabi mo ngayon na it's also on the design, landscaping. Actually, when I was looking at the research that are being conducted by environmental psychologists, kasama talaga si landscaping, kasama pati yung architecture. Diba?
Yes.
Oo, pati yung architecture.
Yes.
That reminds me, in terms of architecture, if you're from, of course, former Congressman, Speaker Baha Mitra.
Yes.
Ramon Mitra. No?
Mitra, yes.
Oo, ang bahay niya, sorry, I'm not promoting, but I'm just sharing. Ang bahay niya had natural source of air.
Yes.
Yung pagkakagawa ng bahay niya, hindi mo kailangan ng electric fan kasi yung mismong bintana, papasukan siya ng natural air. So ang ganda ng flow ng air sa loob ng bahay nila.
Yes.
No? 'Di ba? So yung mga yun yung sinasabi mo na you also have to try to revise our architecture or planning or landscaping. Yes. That will also be not just sustainable but will also agree and interact with the environment, diba?
Actually, that's a very good point, Ms. Yang, kasi if we go back to our pre-modern time architecture, actually after the Spanish era, during that period, we designed, yung mga Filipino craftsmen designed houses with high ceiling for strong with good ventilation, air circulation. So they designed yung mga high ceiling with mga wooden jalousie on top, right within the ceiling. So even before, napaka-mindful na ng mga Pinoy in terms of design that works with the environment. Even our brothers in the northern tribes, they design their homes that works with nature, ganon. And unfortunately, we have somehow lost along the way. But then, architecture, interior design, they work well, especially they work with psychology in terms of the color choices, the viewscapes. Yes. So true. even the type of windows, the visual preference in terms of greeneries, ganon. They work strongly with we have psychology in design kasi, so and I love the topic kasi it sometimes yung clients namin, they don't realize na we're actually tweaking their home so that they live a better life, kung ganon. I mean, like,
true.
So better mental health with design. So yun.
With
well, I got excited anyway. So yun.
Oo, that's actually very, very true, no? Kasi, again, you're not betraying, you're not deceiving yourself by setting up things that will be parang ang sayang tignan or refreshing tignan. But it's actually tweaking your mind on on not just aesthetics but also on the benefits that you will get from them. Kaya
Correct.
nga di ba maganda kung natural. If you're going to put in
Yes.
plants, make sure they're natural plants. Hindi sila plastic plants. I'd rather not do any, I mean, I'd rather not use it if it's not real plants, no?
Yes.
Kasi
Yes.
oo, parang niloloko lang yung sarili ko. Pero yung designs, like for example, frames, you can use landscape designs kasi di ba nakaka-relax siya. At alam mo namang frame siya. So alam mong hindi siya totoo, pero na-enjoy mo yung beauty niya. Tapos
Yeah.
when you talk of of design, yung mga kulay na well, eto medyo pasok tayo ng konti sa medyo issues of depression, anxiety. I would sometimes suggest to my clients na kapag they feel down, kung masaya ka sa kulay na dilaw, then look at color yellow. If masaya ka sa kulay na pink, then look at color pink. And try to avoid dark colors like black. No? Kasi pwede din siya maka-reinforce ng negative emotion. Pero again, yung iba, it may not work that way. Like ako, I love black and it gives me good feeling. Pero yung general kasi, we're talking of general, no? So generally speaking, ang kulay ay nakakatulong para malighten yung mood. And color is a very strong part of the environment. So now in the virtual world na sinasabi nga, we live in this small space of in this screen. Ang lagi nilang sinasuggest was that put something green somewhere na makikita ng mata mo. Para pag napapagod ka na, you look at that green, especially if it's a plant.
Yes.
No? Tumingin ka sa labas, pag nakita mo yung langit, nakita mo yung mga puno, kahit paano nare-refresh yung mind mo. That is one way of transitioning. Kasi napaka-virtual ng mundo natin.
Yes.
So napakalaking tulong niya. If you do that, it refreshes you. Yun. So napaka-powerful ng colors and ng environment.
Yung natural plants, natural na buhangin, ganun. So, yes.
Yes.
Natural is better. Yeah, it's
Yes,
better.
yes.
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 Okay, no? Ang dami na natin na pag-usapan. Nakarating na tayo sa designs, no? And kasi
Correct.
totoo naman talaga na designs can really affect our mental health. It can, affect what yung nararamdaman natin, no? It matters. So, ayan. Ito naman po, kasi Sir Francis, kasi ngayon, di ba, may require tayo na gumamit ng face shield, face mask ngayon. At may nakita akong post no na maraming nagkalat na face mask, yung disposable face mask sa dagat no na nakakain or ng mga pawikan, ng mga isda at of course, ano po kaya ang pwede natin gawin dito, Sir Francis? Kasi I think ngayong merong pandemic, no, and may mga nire-require sa atin na mga health measures na nakaka-apekto din sa ating environment. Ano po kaya ang pwede natin gawin to address this?
Okay, my immediate reaction dyan is, I strongly discourage yung general public to use surgical grade masks. I strongly discourage to use surgical grade masks because I'm also I'm also a health worker. So the reason for this is that these surgical masks should be used and should be resources para sa medical workers natin. In the event of shortage, they are the ones na makukulang. Wala silang access right away. So sila yung magkukulang. When in fact, what we are using could have been used by them. And if they are the ones using this, sila yung merong capacity to dispose them properly. So yun, they have the protocols. Solid waste management protocols and health waste protocols on discarding them. So I strongly discourage the general public to use surgical masks. What I encourage is to use yung mga 3-layered mask, cotton masks, or 3-layered, basta 3 layers siya, minimum 3 layers na yung mga tinatahi ng mga nanay, ganun, at least 3 layers siya na cotton, na mask. Then they are reusable. Magagamit pa siya again, di ba? So you don't have to throw them away right away. You don't have to throw them immediately. So as much as we could use something that could be reusable. So yun yung mga, and then we're giving livelihood pa to our nanays na mga walang trabaho, and to our tatays na naglalako, nagbabike, nagpapunta, ganun. So, di ba Miss Yang? So that is what I strongly suggest. However, if meron na kayong supply ng ganyan, if possible, use it na lang when wala na talaga kayong masks. When in terms of disposing, please naman, you have to properly dispose them kasi these are health hazards. So to begin with, kung you're not using surgical mask, you won't have any surgical mask na itatapon, di ba? So again, use reusable masks. Pero if meron na kayo, then use it pang last resort na lang sana. So ganun. Those are my thoughts na as much as ako, I use cotton masks. The simple rule is, if you cannot see through light with the mask, kung wala siyang ilaw, so like, meron akong sample pala. Kasi I also design masks. So, ganun. Like this one. So, eto. This is going to our client. So, meron siyang mask and turban. Ang turban kasi to protect the hair. Kasi sometimes when lumalabas tayo, nakamask tayo, pero we don't know na yung virus pala gets into our sticks sa buhok natin. So we design turban and mask. Yung general rule ng mask, I'm not a health expert, but the general rule is if you cannot see through light, then that is most likely safe. That is most likely safe. Pero yung mga bandana, yung ginagamit ng mga bandana na you can just see through it, then that is not a good option. So use mask na that difficult siya to see through because of the layers, ganun. So so if wala tayong surgical mask na ginagamit, so wala tayong surgical mask na matatapon. So yun, that's my simple logic.
Actually, I agree, no? At ngayon, parang natutuwa ako. Nakatingin nga ako dito sa taas ko kasi dyan nakasabit lahat ng mask namin. Dumating talaga ako dun sa point na halos lahat ng klase ng mask. I even bought mask na gawa yung native, yung mga tinatahi, hinahabi. Oo, kasi also to support, no, yung locally made mask, no? And naku, gusto ko yung mask mo. Ang ganda ng kulay. I also agree with the head. No, kasi bumili kami ng Huawei para sigurado. My husband is very strong on that, no. He has many yung mga tinatakpan talaga niya yung ulo niya. Kasi ang point niya, pag nalagyan yung buhok ko, ang buhok kasi madaling lapitan, madaling dikitan ng dumiyan, no? So you protect this but you have your hair exposed. Kaya kailangan takpan mo rin siya. Dito pumapasok ulit yung salitang mindfulness and yung self-care, no? Why do we need to take care of ourselves? Why do we need to be mindful? It's not about knowing what to wear. It's also knowing how to wear it. No? It's very, very critical. Kasi alam mo na kailangan mong mag-mask pero hindi mo alam kung paano ito gamitin. Tama nang naka-mask ako, sabay ibababa mo siya dito. Pero kung aware ka, kung mindful ka, nanunood ka, at alam mo yung mga repercussions nito, nandyan na naman yung habit forming na, hindi ko siya ilalagay dito. Kailangan natin simulan yun di ba? Kaya nga paulit-ulit yung mga infographics, no? Kasi kailangan ipasok sa system ng bawat isa. Ito yung cognitive mapping. That's why they're saying that, sa environment, napaka-importante ng cognitive mapping. No, you begin with a schema. You know what a mask is, and when we think of a mask, ay siya yung surgical. Yun yung iniisip mo. Pero kailangan mo ipasok sa schema mo na hindi lang surgical. Ang surgical para sa ganito yan. May ganitong klaseng mask. Pag sinuot mo ngayon si mask, second schema, how do I use it? So ang lakasanayan ibaba. Ay hindi, kailangan baguhin yung schema na yon. Dito lang siya. pag tinanggal mo, ilagay mo siya na maayos. Again, it's cognitive mapping on how you're supposed to, put all this information together to make it a part of your system. Yon. So, alam mo, it's really very interesting. And eto na, no? Final message ko na daw.
Yeah.
Ko
Yes,
final
Ma'am
message
Yen.
lang.
Final
Hindi naman
message po.
last message.
Ay, hindi
Final
naman po.
message
Final
for
na
the
for
day.
today's episode.
Dito natin nakikita how psychology, no? I mean, our psychological state matters. Kasi kung maayos ang ating kaisipan, if we take care of ourselves, no, we also ensure and we make sure that we look for safety. And safety is environment. No? Kapag aware ka na kailangan ko alagaan ng sarili ko, kailangan ko alagaan ng pamilya ko, pag nakakita ka ng saging, balat ng saging, pupulutin mo yan kasi may maa-aksidente dyan. So talagang bumabagsak siya sa salitang mindfulness. And mindfulness plays a very, very big role in our psychological well-being kasi that makes us and allows us to be sensitive to the needs of others and to your needs. No? You may have the right, but you have to make sure also and think of the rights of others. So in terms of environment, napakalaking bagay po na hindi lang natin ito ginagamit for aesthetic use. You have to think of the benefits, not just to your body, but also to your mind. You have to look at the interplay between all this, no? So sana 3 oras to, pero siguro in time we'll have more time to talk about this kasi napakalakas talaga ng impact nito sa ating kaisipan. So thank you so much for what you've shared, Francis. Na talagang nakaka-inspire, no? Sana lang gumangang kamay ko at maging plantita ako. Ako hanggang tingin lang talaga, no? Pero nagkakaroon naman siya ng benefit sa akin. Yan. So maraming salamat. Salamat din sa ating mga plantito at plantita. Hindi yan basta hobby lang kasi nakakatulong kayo sa environment. Promise, no?
Yes.
Kasi mas marami kang ginagawang environmentally anong tawag doon? Beneficial. Mas marami ka natutulungan. Bago ko ituloy-tuloy ito, bago ako tumigil, paalala lang po, yung climate change documentary ni former Vice President Al Gore, which I always mention in some of my talks. Ang dulo niya is psychological well-being, which means whatever happens around us, sa atin babalik yan. Pumapasok sa relasyon, pag masyadong mainit, lagi nag-aaway ang mag-jowa. Kasi hindi kayo makapaglambingan ng init, di ba? So yung mga gano'n, no? So pati sa relasyon, malakas ang impact niya. So maraming salamat and keep safe. Take care of yourself.
Thank you, Ma'am Yang. Okay, so ayan naman, let's hear naman Sir Francis last message na sa ating mga viewers ngayong umaga.
Yeah, once again, our work with the environment is a personal journey of the community. We're in this situation all together. Although different tayo we are in the same storm but different boats. Pero we are all in this journey together. And so it's not just kung ano yung safety ko, I have to make sure na I am okay. But also you have to make sure na it also affects other people positively. And so magtanim ka ng puno sa labas ng bahay mo, it will not only benefit the oxygen levels in your area, pero it will also positively affect yung mga neighbors mo na hindi mo gusto. So kasi they breathe in good air, then baka they will realize how good of a person you are. So again, it's a community tayo. So yung ginagawa natin sa ating bahay will eventually affect other people. And so, again, yung basurang tinapon natin today will become the basura na kakainin natin bukas. So, we have to be mindful about that. So thank you once again for everyone who's been listening, and special thanks then to our teachers and non-teaching personnel who have continue to dedicate themselves on putting the next generation on better hands. So this is the importance of DepEd. You see how important DepEd's role and mandate is in rearing the next generation. So yes, so it's a long discussion, how I wish, as what Ma'am Yang has mentioned, sana this would be longer. Pero
Yes.
we go back to our childhood school experiences, and everything is what we are doing right now. So yeah.
Thank you very much, Sir Francis and Ma'am Yang, no, for our discussion today na ako, no, talagang kailangan nating balikan ang ating mga sarili, no, para sa ating environment. And of course, no, napakalaki talaga ng magiging role ng DepEd dito, no, and how are we going to take care of our environment, and how are we going to instill, no, yung values sa pamangalaga sa kalikasan natin sa ating mga learners. Dahil nga po isa sa mga core values ng DepEd ay ang pagiging or ang makakalikasan. So ayan. So kailangan talaga nating bigyan pansin iyon. Okay. So ayan, may mga comments pa tayo dito from our viewers, no? Wala po kay Miss Nanette Guevara Flores. Health over lifestyle, be health conscious. Yes po, sa panahon ngayon, we have to be health conscious. Wala po kay Miss Marian Concepcion Manuel. Agree po ako kay ma'am na malaking tulong po ang totoong kape kasi po stimulant siya, sa totoo lang po. Hindi po siya pampagising. Pampatulog po siya. Pansinin niyo po, after drinking, inaantok po tayo. In short, relaxation po ang kape. Actually po, may nabasa ako tungkol dito. And ako personally, I agree on this. Kasi bago po ako matulog, umiinom po ako ng kape. And para po sa akin, siya yung milk ko na nakakapagpatulog sa akin. And wala po kay Miss Bea Batangan, rice coffee po, hindi lang masarap, gamot pa ng sakit ng tiyan. Oh yes, may mga umiinom po ng rice coffee. I remember my mom, buhay pa siya,
Yes.
umiinom siya ng rice coffee.
Actually, I was about to share nga kanina about rice coffee, about so marami tayong alternatives, not
Corn
just
coffee.
yes, corn coffee. So marami tayong coffee. Then speaking of for relaxation, in terms reduces anxiety and nausea is also salabat. Salabat is very helpful. So
salabat is from ginger. So yun.
Yes, ginger,
Remember may lolo din gumagawa ng salabat dati kasi meron siyang taniman ng ginger sa bahay.
Yes.
Okay, so ayan, marami talagang mga alternatives, no, na pwede tayong gamitin, no? And ang iba doon, pwede nating makuha sa ating bahay or itanim sa ating mga bakuran. And ito po pala kay Miss Nova Loves Evans Ligatis, no? Hello po, napakagandang discussion. Thank you po, ma'am. May 3 key points po akong natutunan and to bear in mind and share to. Ma'am, please do so. Share it with us po, no? Para ma-share natin ito sa ating next episodes pag ginawa natin ang recap. Okay, so ayan. Mga moms and sirs, natapos na naman po ang isa nating episode ng Wellness Check na Check. So maraming salamat po, no, sa inyo pong pagsubaybay, no, sa ating episode ngayong umaga. Ayan po, no, sana po talaga, no, let's do our part, no, in taking care of our environment, and of course do the eco-friendly living. Kung madami po tayo talagang nakuha ngayon ng mga insights, mga ideas, no, mula kay Sir Francis and kay Ma'am Yang, no? Ayan, so sana po hindi lang ito magtapos dito sa kung ano yung pinag-usapan natin ngayon. Sana ma-apply din natin ito sa ating mga sarili para po ma-share din natin sa ating pamilya, sa ating mga neighbors, and katulad nga ng nasabi ni Sir Francis kanina, no, pati din sa hindi natin kabati na neighbors. Pag may ginawa tayong maganda, no, malalaman nila na we are also we have something good in us. And of course nga, no, ito yung lagi nating pinapaalala, no, ngayong meron tayong kinakaharap na pandemya, no, na yung practice kindness, no, yung pagiging kind natin, hindi lang sa sarili natin, kundi sa ating kapwa and sa ating kapaligiran. Okay? So ayan po, mga moms and sirs, no, please answer the evaluation form po. Ang link po ay naka-flash po sa inyong screen. Okay, so ayan po. Stay tuned po every Friday at 9 a.m. po dito po sa DepEd Philippines Facebook page para po sa ating Wellness Check series. Kung nais niyo pong malaman ang ating susunod na topic, please go to DepEd DepEd.in/wellness check. Capital letters po ang W and letters C. Okay? And ayan, samahan niyo po kami sa iba pang programa ng DepEd, no? Mga moms and sirs, ayan na po, makikita niyo po sa inyong screen ang ating mga QR codes for the schedule of topics and the evaluation form. Scan niyo lamang po ang mga QR codes na yan. Okay? So, ayan po. Stay tuned po kayo lagi dito sa ating Wellness Check series every Friday. At ito po ang ating schedule naman para sa mental health and psychosocial support services, MHPSS po, programs na ipapalabas po a week before the opening of classes. So yan po ay mula September 8 hanggang October 2. So meron po tayong DRMS buklatan. So meron po tayong 5 episodes po, no, na shoot na ipapalabas po sa TV. Ito po ay from 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. And OKKK Tambayan, sorry po, for our secondary learners naman, no, from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. September 28 to October 2 din po yan. And yung ating wellness check episodes po, meron po tayong 3 episodes na ipapalabas po or ipabroadcast po sa TV, no, from September 28 to 30, from 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. and then gabay bahay po for parents naman from October 1 to October 2. Okay, and yung pong kakaibayanihan natin for our learners with disabilities or special needs po from September 28 to October 2, from 4 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. So yan po ang ating mga schedule of MHPSS activities. And of course po, yung ating online mental health and psychosocial support services po, no, na ginagawa natin na nasimulan panong May until ngayon pong October. Gagawin po natin yan. So yung DRMS buklatan po, every Tuesday pa din from 4 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. OKK Tambayan every Thursday po, no, ng 4 p.m. din to 5:30 p.m. And then Nakakaibayanihan every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday po hanggang mula po to September 7 hanggang October 1 from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. And yung ating psychosocial support through play and psychosocial first aid for secondary learners po on September 28 from 8 a.m. to 12 noon and 1 to 5 p.m. for respectively. So ayan, ito po ay mapapanood nyo sa Dapat Philippines Facebook page. Yung mga nauna ko po binanggit, yun po ang ipapalabas po sa TV, pero yung mga programs po na nagko-continue ng DRMS sa Dapat Philippines Facebook page po yan, mapapanood. Okay? So ayan po, pwede nyo pa rin pong balikan ang mga previous episodes po ng Stronger from Home at ng Wellness Check series. Punta lamang po kayo sa Dapat Philippines Facebook page. Pag pumunta po kayo sa videos, makikita nyo po ang playlist for Stronger from Home and Wellness Check. So yan, pwede nyo po itong i-share sa inyong mga colleagues or sa inyong pong mga friends kasi ito po ay hindi lamang pang DepEd, pang pamilya pa or pang kabarkada pa. Okay? So ayan po. Ayan. Magkita-kita po tayo muli, no, sa ating Wellness Check series sa susunod po na Biyernes 9 a.m. no. Ayan, samahan at tayo po ay Wellness Check na check. So yan, muli po ako si Joel Yamado mula po sa DRMS, ang pagpapanatili at pagpapalaganap ng ating Wellness Check na check. Magandang umaga pong muli sa inyong lahat.